flying is very much like business or a job or work. Like, it's constantly about problem solving all the time. The best pilots are thinking 2, 3, 5 steps ahead of where they are right now. So I'm constantly trying to figure out how I can get ahead of the airplane. Very early on, there's a lot of like transitional periods. Like I was updating my logbook when we were flying at 30,000 feet. That took me like an hour to update my entire flight log. There was nothing else to do. Like, I was preparing for my presentations and updating logbook and that kind of stuff while you guys were napping. But in the very like takeoff, landing, transitional periods, those kind of things always have to be focused on. Could go wrong. So I'm just always thinking about that.
So if there's an engine failure, what's the procedure? Like, the engine's failed, what's the backup?
We don't have a backup. So if we lose, we have one engine in this plane. If we lose this engine and I can't get it back online with an air start, it flames out. So sometimes you might have like a bad fuel or something happens or it just hiccups and goes out. I can relight it. But if it like really goes out, then I'm getting us, depending on what's happening, I'm either taking as much time as possible in the air or I'm getting us on the ground as fast as possible. There's a couple different things that would happen. It's aviate, navigate, then communicate. So the first thing I'm going to do is fly the plane, because you can stall a plane very easily and it's going to start falling out of the sky and you can't get it back. I mean, it's not going to do you any good. Then I'm going to navigate and figure out where we're going to go. Then I'm going to communicate. I'm going to start talking. Talk to controllers, so Albuquerque Center, talk to you guys. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be going through my own thing. And I might tell you to stop talking, be quiet, like those kind of things. Like, I just
focus.
And so I'll go through that. And the first thing you need to do is you need to get some speed. So we get some speed on the aircraft. If we're going really fast, let's say we're at like 20,000 feet or 15,000 feet and we're doing 250 knots. I'm going to trade speed for altitude. Sometimes what might not happen is, like, the reason it might not be able to work that way is we have a ceiling, like a bunch of clouds. I probably won't fly in the clouds. I'll just accelerate and glide. So I'll decelerate as I maintain my altitude. And then when I capture a good glide speed. So we'll capture a glide speed. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a place to land, ideally a runway. And usually we can find a runway, especially at 30,000 feet, we can basically glide like up to 60 miles. As long as there's an airport within 60 miles I can land on, I can hit it.
Oh.
I'm going to set us up for that, and we got really one pass with an engine failure. I'm going to fly a circular type pattern that's going to descend and land us on the runway with the one shot we got. Because the prop will go to feather, and we're just gliding at that point. Planes are meant to fly. They're built to fly. So if you have no power and you drop a plane from the sky and keep airspeed on it, it's going to fly. It's just going to descend at a fixed rate.
Oh.
So I'm basically going to fly an engine off pattern and land the plane. We don't have a runway. We're going to try to put it into a field somewhere that we can. Keep the gear up, put the flaps down, and I'll get us as slow as possible. Try to grease on a field landing. I think that's one thing military aviators do a lot of. We train so much for emergencies over and over and over again throughout our career that when they happen, we're spring-loaded to react to them. But I think civilian pilots don't do enough training on emergencies, like engine failure. So that one time that it happens over my entire flight career, I'm ready. I know where to put it. I know what airfield I'm going to put it on. I know what grass strip, I know what farmer's field I'm going to put it in.
Right.
Always thinking about that. I think civilian pilots, a lot of times, they do it from time to time, but not on every single flight. We do it like 10 times, 5 times on every single flight we do. There's always a simulated engine failure on every flight. In my training command, in my fleet squadron most of the time, unless we're on a real mission. But anytime we train hard. So there's a cool feature here, the nearest button. You can hit that and find the nearest airport. So you can see this airport just got closer. That's 20 miles. It's at a 4,500 foot runway.
I forgot to mention that we are on
This DHT's got 6,400 foot runway, 21 miles. This 225 TS has a 6,500 foot runway, 28 miles. We can make, right now we can make all 3 of those runways. But what I can do is I can just scroll down and hit direct right here. Direct enter, it'll take us directly to that airport. Right where the needle points, I'll fly that direction and get us set up. So remember, I'll aviate, then I'll navigate to one of those airports, and then I'll communicate. I'll call center and say, hey, we got a problem. I'm going to this airport. I'm declaring an emergency. Can you call some emergency crews, call the fire department, call the police, those kind of people to meet us there, and make sure that, just in case, there's somebody there to take care of us if we have an accident. That's a couple of the steps. So that's what would happen if we lost the engine. Hopefully it doesn't happen to us.
It'd be ideal.
If it does, I've trained for it.